I'm Maddie Wyatt. I'm here with Professor Katja Rost from the University of Zurich, who's just done a talk on variable pay for performance and gender. Can you just start off by telling me a little bit about what you mean by variable pay for performance?
Variable pay for performance is pay which is linked to the attainment of predefined goals. That's variable pay for performance. So, for example, stock option payments or payments with stocks or also bonus payments are pay for performance. But gain sharing, for example, is not variable pay for performance because it is not linked to predefined goals.
And what is the evidence around whether variable pay for performance actually works, or does it work in organisations?
Yeah, the aim of variable pay for performance is to motivate persons to act in the interest of the principal. So, for example, to act in the interest of the shareholders. Yeah, that's the aim of variable pay for performance, and there is large evidence that pay for performance indeed can increase work behavior. For example, for piecework. So the circumstances are that you need easy or simple measurable tasks, and in this case, variable pay for performance works. But for the top management job, which is an interesting job, and this job is also difficult to measure, there is not so much evidence, or even evidence that pay for performance is linked to negative work behavior or to negative performance.
And what kind of effects do we see in that sense?
Yeah, there are four reasons how we explain the counterproductive effects of pay for performance in the case of difficult tasks. Now, the first effect is the multitasking effect. It suggests that persons concentrate on measurable tasks which are rewarded and neglect anything else. The second effect is the strategic behavior effect. Pay for performance gives incentives for rent extraction. The third effect is the self-selection effect. It suggests that pay for performance systems in particular attract extrinsically motivated persons, but not intrinsically motivated persons in firms. And the fourth effect is that pay for performance is a kind of external control, because you link you link payments to predefined goals. So you reduce the autonomy of a worker, and that's the reason why pay for performance may lead to a reduction in intrinsic motivation, so for example in work pleasure or pro-social behavior.
Okay, and we're here talking about gender on board, so are there gender differences in pay for performance, or the reactions that pay for performance gets out of men and women?
Mm-hmm. There are differences, gender differences in pay for performance, and I will here concentrate on the management job. So in the case of difficult and or interesting tasks, there seems to be evidence that under pay for performance, the gender wage gap is even higher than under a regular wage system. So women earn lesser than males do. So there is a gender difference around 25% or even more in top executive jobs between males and females.
And what would you suggest that organisations do in light of those findings?
Our suggestion is to reduce the amount of pay for performance at the top. Today, the CEO's salaries, for example, it differs, of course, between countries, but I think 80 or 90% of the total CEO compensation is variable pay for performance. So the fixed part of the pay should be higher. It's our suggestion, and it would also reduce the gender wage gap. That's our suggestion, to return to a fixed pay system for CEOs, because pay for performance can be very counterproductive for the management job.
Okay, and why do you think that there is a gender difference?
Now, the reasons for this gender wage gap under pay-for performance, there are different reasons. Now, the first reason is that pay-for performance penalizes risk aversion, and we know from the literature that women are more risk averse than males are. That's the first reason. The second reason is that pay-for performance builds on competition. So the goal of pay-for performance is to increase the competition within firms, but we know also that females perform worse under competitive incentive chains compared to males. The third reason is that pay-for performance now I have to remember it on my slides. What is the third reason? You can you have the possibility. So yeah, it's the third reason. Now the third reason is that pay-for performance builds on negotiation behavior, and there is evidence that women perform worse if they show negotiating behavior than without negotiating behavior. Now, why does pay-for performance build on negotiating behavior? First, you have to negotiate the kind of goals which are within the contract, and second, you have to negotiate whether the goals have been attained or not. So that's very important for pay-for performance. Now, there is also a fourth reason why pay-for performance may attract males more than women. That's pay-for performance ignores social cues, so it builds on some measurable tasks and, for example, pro-social behavior or solidarity within firms are not easy to measure. But we know also that females are more concerned with social cues and are more concerned with social esteem. So summing up, pay-for performance seems to signal more masculine stereotype, and we also know that females get penalized for showing a masculine style, whereas males get not penalized for a female style. So there might be reasons for the gender wage gap, but we certainly need more research on this topic.
And what kind of research would you suggest that we look at next?
I would suggest that we first need more experimental evidence, but not I would suggest that we need more field experiments. Yeah, so which show real behavior under real conditions. Yeah, that's the first. I think it's important for to answer causality questions, but also we do need more empirical research, more long-term oriented empirical research, which also opens the black box to answer to the question why this gender wage gap exists. And we also need more research which looks whether this gender wage gap increases or is reduced over time. But I think, or I believe that the gender wage gap will increase in the next years, because pay-for performance is a very prominent and huge performance system at the top.